Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am continuing my reviews for the Star Wars movies. Yes, the Star Wars, as you can see, this is the complete trilogy edition. But this time I am talking about Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This is a film that came out in the year 1980. The story is by George Lucas, but the screenplay was written by Leighton Brackett and Lawrence Kasdan, is directed by Arvind Kirshner, and the plot is, it's been a couple of years since the events of the last movie where the rebels destroyed the Death Star, but they were being chased by Vader and the Imperials, so they went to hiding. They're on this ice planet until, of course, Vader finds them and he goes after them. Luke has to go off and complete his Jedi training. He has to go find this Yoda character, and all while that's going on, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, everybody is just trying to fend off and deal with the Empire. Now, what I think of The Empire Strikes Back is this film. Wow. It's funny because, again, like I said, everybody puts this at the top of their list for all-time Star Wars movies. It's their favorite for so many reasons, and I get it. This film is filled with a lot of moments, a lot of important moments to these characters, to the franchise, and it's almost like you can almost remember your reaction to said moments. And rewatching this movie, yes, all of it's there. Like, I have more fun with A New Hope, and even to some extent Return of the Jedi. Like, I have more fun with those movies. This movie is a lot more serious, is, like I said, important to the series. The very beginning of the movie, we see Luke Skywalker. He's out exploring on that ice planet Hoth. I don't know 100%, but I think they wrote the part where he gets attacked by that like Yeti creature and scratched in the face and hung up, and it's cool to see just how far along he has come with the Force when he has to get the lightsaber from the ground and cut the Yeti's arm off. That was great, but I think that was only put in the movie to sort of explain the differences in Mark Hamill's face. He got into a car accident before this movie, so if that's the case, if that's the only reason why that's there, it flows perfectly with the story, because you also get Han Solo, who wants to leave. He's been with the rebels for a while, but he has this bounty on him. He knows he has to leave and pay Jabba the Hutt, and so he has to get away. But you see that he does actually care about these people. When Luke doesn't come back to base, he risks dying himself, goes out there in the cold, and saves Luke's life. It's the only time you ever see Han use a lightsaber, where he has to cut the creature open and put Luke in there to warm him up. And then the Empire arrives. They find their location, and the battle on Hoth is amazing. It is. Special effects wise, for 1980, I can't imagine if I was alive and seeing this in the theater for the first time, just to see how far along science fiction movies could go when you see those AT-ATs coming at them and the rogues are trying to figure out how to combat them. Obviously, the iconic moment where they figure out to string them up by the legs and get them to fall down. All of this, you're watching it and you're thinking like, wow, I'm watching history be made. It's a weird feeling, but I always enjoy watching, especially those moments like that. The Force Ghost that Obi-Wan has become. This is the first time where you understand what Obi-Wan sacrificed in the first movie. He let himself get killed, only to become a Force Ghost, and he's now still guiding Luke, still helping him along in his training. He was willing to give himself up to help Luke become who he needs to become. He tells him to go train with Master Yoda. So he and R2-D2, they fly off and they find this planet that looks like a swamp, and I love when he first meets Yoda and Yoda is pretending not to be Yoda. He's acting all goofy and over the top, and he's going through his stuff, and I love that, but not just that. He's testing him, sure. But not just that, the puppetry that went into this Yoda character is amazing. I'm sitting here watching this like it's flawless. It really is. When you see him going through Luke's bag and throwing stuff around, or just his movements, like, I don't know exactly how they were able to pull off some of those moments with Yoda, but I love it. I love practical effects. I can't stress that enough. You've heard me say it 110 times, so I'll say it 111 times. Practical effects is always the way to go when he does get serious, and he is like, I'm not sure if Luke is ready for this training. And you get a bunch of scenes of him really pushing Luke to that level. Even you see how strong Yoda himself is when he's able to levitate the ship out of the swamp. And just this Yoda character, it could have come off really goofy, really silly, and it could have make this movie fall apart. But the fact that the character is interesting, the fact that I love the voice, the fact that this character it's what people remember a lot about this movie, about all the Star Wars movies. It works. Also, Harrison Ford as Han Solo. What more can I say about Han Solo that I didn't already say in the first movie? Although, it's great to see how much further along he is with Leia and how much more comfortable he is now outright just saying, hey, Leia, you're in love with me. Just admit it, because you are. So clearly he likes her too, and it's almost like he wants her to say that she has feelings for him to make him stay. Because otherwise, he won't bother, he'll leave, he'll go deal with what he has to deal with. But if there's something here, he's trying to get it out of her, and I like that flirtation. I like how the two of them go back and forth, because Leia, again, she's a bit of a hard ass. She won't really say to Han flat out, but you know she likes him. She does. It's on her face, especially the moment where they finally do kiss for the first time. They have great chemistry. I love the moments of them being on the Millennium Falcon. That ship is so iconic. It looks so cool. I love seeing them having to get away from the Empire, and when they go inside of that planet and they're dealing with the creature in there. You get some history about it, where Han got it from. That's where we get introduced to Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian, and this character, he too is very suave. He too is very charismatic, and I love when they meet him. He too instantly gravitates to Leia and is sort of trying to court her, and that's where you see Han getting a little jealous. Leia is a pretty sought after character in this movie. Even Luke at the beginning had moments of showing interest in her. Sure, he did in the first movie, but him and Leia kiss in this film, and of course it's weird because we know that they're brother and sister. They might not know that, but we know that, and it's weird, right? Just how much in the forethought was this in George Lucas's mind? Did he purposely make them attracted to each other before finding out they were brother and sister just to be creepy about it? Or did he do that and then realize, maybe I should make them brother and sister, maybe that would be more interesting than having a love triangle between them and Han? I don't know, but it's always weird and it's always funny to watch going back. But that brings me to Darth Vader, this character. I'm going to talk up just how menacing and threatening he is. Not just, like I said before, the look and the appearance and the demeanor, but that breathing sound. It's just a character breathing is iconic, and it leaves its mark on, you hear it, you know who it is. There's no doubt in your mind. Like, even if you're not the biggest Star Wars fan, even if you're not somebody who's really seen every single movie over and over again, you're still going to recognize that. Because there's a scene where he force chokes one of his men for failing him, but he does it from like another room. He's looking at him through the monitor, and he force chokes him through that and kills him, and just appoints the next guy next to him to step up and take over. Imagine working for this guy. But all of that is true, but the further development of Vader as a character, seeing him that he's working for the Emperor, and there's actually somebody else higher in the command, and we don't know much about this emperor, but he looks very creepy and you want to know more about it. One more thing I want to talk about before I get to the ending, of course, is Boba Fett. Boba Fett is one of the bounty hunters, just one of them. There's a bunch of them that Vader hires to go after Han Solo and go after everybody, really. But for some reason, Boba Fett was the one. He was the one that everybody attached themselves to, latched onto, probably kids especially, who maybe it's just because he looks cool. He does. He has a cool design, but he doesn't really say much. He doesn't really do a whole lot either. He just captures Han, takes him off because he needs him for a Jabba the Hutt. But like the fandom that this character has gotten, the fans and how they created a fictional backstory for him and all of this stuff, the comic books that eventually were based on him, it's amazing to me to watch these movies, especially the first time when I watched them, because I really was trying to understand it. I was trying to understand why everybody fell in love with Boba Fett. Obviously they did, though. But let's talk about this ending. This ending is what really puts this movie apart. What really sets it above and beyond really any Star Wars movie is because the fact that they went for it. They went full force. Even me, and I'm sure other people who might not have seen this movie when it happened, I'm sure it was spoiled for them by finding out that Vader is Luke's father. It's been parodied enough times. It's been on screens everywhere. I'm sure you've seen it if you didn't see the movie already, but it still doesn't take away from the impact. It still doesn't take away for the moment that you know that this means for these characters, for Luke, finding this out, and how he instantly is in shock. He can't believe it. He's wondering why Obi-Wan would lie to him. He's wondering what this means, how much of what Vader is talking about is true as far as him being destined to go to the dark side, Vader wanting to turn his son corrupt, and just it raises so many questions on what happened to Anakin Skywalker to make him join the dark side, and it puts so many layers and so much more depth into the Vader character. It's fascinating to see all that happen. And even when they do take Han and put him in carbonite, and I mean it almost looks like they kill him. And then he gets taken away. They lose Han, and it ends on such a down note. And that's why I say that I enjoy, or I have more fun with A New Hope more, because that's more fun. This movie, it beats you down. And it's the title, The Empire Strikes Back. They do strike back. They strike back with a vengeance. And you know that the rebels won the first battle, but the Empire came back and won this battle. And that's why this movie works. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you think it's the best Star Wars movie of all time? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!